and a very warm welcome to you. My name is Jeannie D, and this is Afternoon Express. It feels so good to be in the loft today. Now, please be advised that today's show is not suitable for persons under the age of 13 due to the nature of the subjects that we're going to be discussing with our guests. So, let's begin. Today in the loft, we meet transgender activist Landa Mabenge, who is also author of the book Becoming Him, a Trans Memoir of Triumph. It is an absolute inspirational, heart-rending story of how Landa became the voice of anyone fighting to define themselves on their own terms. Plus, we chat to nephrologist Dr. Erica Jones about the importance of kidney health. You can join in the conversation and tell us how much water you drink in a day by tweeting us at Afternoon Chat using the official hashtag Afternoon Express, or comment on our Facebook page. And of course, our adorable fluffy friends, Baxter and Donut, are also with us in the loft today. And my other favorite, Palesa, is here too.
I could not allow Jeannie to do the show solo today on this beautiful Women Crush Wednesday. My name is Palesa Tembe, and I'm in my most favorite place in the world, the kitchen, with my most favorite chef in the world,
Hey.
Chef Clem. How's it going today?
Very well. Do you have a sweet tooth?
I don't, but I can.
All right, okay. Today's all about the sweets.
Nice.
We're going to be making a beautiful peach tarte tatin and then some quinoa flapjacks. It's all about the sweets today.
And keeping it healthy, I hope.
Well, yeah, kind of, yes.
Always keeping it healthy. And so much to look forward to on the show. And later on in the show, we have the amazing 2 finalists for the Rhodes Quality Hashtag for the Love of Winter finalists that can win a 100,000 Rand grand prize.
The LGBTQI community has come a long way in changing the norms in the modern world and have made strides in achieving acceptance from our society. Now, transgender activist Landa Mabenge is an author who wrote the book Becoming Him in hopes to help society understand what it means to be transgender. In the book, he pours out his experience of not relating to his female form despite being socialized as a girl. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeannie.
I mean, I think so many people in the world, and in this country especially, are going to be so grateful that you wrote this.
I hope so.
Because I think the intention was probably to help a lot of people through your story.
Yeah.
It must have been tremendously difficult to write, though.
Definitely. It took me back to places I thought I'd laid to rest.
Yeah.
It reminded me of how human beings can become barriers to people living their authenticity. So it really took a lot to actually sit down and write the book. But I'm happy I did, and like you say, I hope it will help a lot of people to just live their truth.
And you're tremendously brave, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us today on the show as well. So let's go back to your early years, because I think, you know, from what I saw in the book, your early life was reasonably happy and reasonably normal, I suppose, until about the age of 11 years old. Describe what it was like growing up.
So I was raised by my maternal aunt and grandparents in Tarte, small community called Ngambedlana. Loved it. My grandparents allowed me the liberty to be. So I could be who I wanted to be whenever, within reason, given the fact that we still have to go to church, I still have to go to school, so there's a dress code when it comes to those parts of life. Yeah. But generally, it was a happy household. Yeah. My grandmother was very strict, but very fair. Yeah. Grew up with the passion of and love of music. Yeah, it was an amazing childhood. And I mean, I had my aunt who I knew as my mother, who adored me. And and even when I would be very sort of vocal in terms of, no, I don't want to wear this dress, or why can't I stand and pee like the other boys, they would somehow laugh it off at times, but allow me to wear my shorts and my pants and just be who I was. So it was a very happy home, a very loving and happy home.
When did that change?
That changed for me when I was 11 years old. So this is 1992, when I actually learned that my aunt is not my mother. And so I got taken away by my parents, who I call the parents in the book. And it's people that I'd seen a couple of times before, but never knew that they were my parents. And them taking me to PE changes my entire life. Because now I'm one of 4 children in this house in PE, but more than that, I'm one of 2 children out of 4 who get abused physically, emotionally, psychologically on an almost daily basis. So overnight, I changed from being this bubbly, warm, loving child to being this submissive, withdrawn and shameful young person who still develops, right? Because I'm still going to develop, my body develops, there are changes.
But why did they come back for you? Why did they take you if they were such abusive and horrible people showing you such hatred?
I don't know. Nobody could tell me up until today. I've tried to find out. I've tried to find out from my grandparents, my mother's parents. Nobody has got a reason.
Well, there isn't any reason for this.
So, and it wasn't just me, it was my older brother as well. So he had also grown up in Umtata and then he was also taken away. So it was just 2 out of 4 who were treated very differently to the other 2. And it just showed me from a young age that it's a survival of the fittest, number 1. And number 2, that I thought I didn't matter. I thought my life would be doomed to failure because my mother would tell me almost every day that you will never amount to anything. And so that part, the truth of who I was, I had to suppress a lot. Because we're going to church as well, so you can't be an anomaly. You need to be this girl that you're being socialized to being. And I never had any, I don't have any loving sort of memories or interactions with my parents.
And at that point, you're obviously aware of the fact that you're not living in your body. Yes. So, I mean, how old were you when you were aware of the fact that you weren't meant to be a girl?
Very young. At the earliest is probably around 7, 8. Yeah. And I mean, I remember growing up at home with my cousins and like there were a lot of grandchildren in the home. Yeah. And I would always want to play father, you know, and with my female cousin and stuff like that. So from a young age, I knew I couldn't relate to my female form. And it became worse when I went to stay with my parents because now my body's developing, right? Yeah. And I started having my menses and I actually thought that I was going to grow a penis, if I can be blunt like that. Yeah. And speaking to my brother, and he was like, no, this is what's going on. So it kind of like shut my world down a bit because that's when everyone was drumming and telling me, you are not a boy, you're a girl. And that's when I actually started being like, you know what, let's park this. This is not who I am. Everybody seems to have a clear idea of who I should be. So let's indulge everyone and just live that
My heart's just so broken for you because as it is, you're going through such a confusing time within yourself, and yet you weren't in a family, the parents were not there to support you or guide you through anything, so it must have made it even harder. At what point did you decide to make that change? Did you then decide, this is it, I'm going to go and I'm going to find the body I was meant to be born with?
So I came to, so after matric I come to Cape Town, I study at UCT. After a while I actually decide, you know what, because I've always been attracted to girls. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, let's live as a lesbian because it seems to be the closest to what I seem to be identifying as within the society. Yeah. And I became the butchest of the butch lesbians. Yeah. And I lived like, but it was still not my truth. I felt a disconnect. There was still something that was quite not fitting with me until about 2006, when I started doing research. And that's when I came across, I actually went onto Google and typed in, what does it mean to feel like a man but you're in a woman's body? Okay. And that's when I got a lot of information about, it was known as a gender identity disorder back then.
What does it feel though? Tell me what it feels like to be.
It feels like, I felt like I was floating every single day. I wasn't aligned, I was just existing for the mere fact that I'm here. Yeah. There was no connection.
Like, what is the difference, I suppose, between being a lesbian and then being, and pardon the question, but I just want to understand from a feeling point of view, that how did you know that you were meant to be
in this body
boy as opposed to just being a lesbian?
Well, I suppose it's because there's a distinction between gender and sex, right? And sexuality. So the one was just merely a sexual attraction thing. Okay. So being attracted to females. And the other is the core of who I am. Yeah. My identity, the innermost person was just not settled, not right. I couldn't align the inner to the physical.
Exactly.
So that's how I knew that something is not fitting here. And so that's when I came across the transgender clinic at Grooterskloof Hospital. Mm-hmm. And I met with a sexologist and I met with the whole panel. And funny enough, after the first 2 days, the doctors were remarking on how undeniably a man I was, or I am. And so for me, that's when things started to sort of align. Yeah. Because now it doesn't feel like I am just grasping at straws. It doesn't feel like I'm making things up.
You are you now.
Suddenly, I'm walking the path towards becoming and aligning to myself.
How long did that process take from visiting the transgender clinic to then going through the process? I mean, and what was the process? Hormones?
Yeah.
Then operation?
So I started with
how
hormones.
Long is that journey?
So I started with hormones November 2009. And then because there's such a long waiting list, like the waiting list is ridiculous. I think it's over 30 years now. Dr. Kevin and I were talking just now. So medical aids, they won't pay because they see it as cosmetic surgery.
But you got your medical aid to pay.
Yes, I did. Thanks to my doctors, we motivated about 3 times, the 3rd time lucky.
Wow.
And which is how I became known as the first known transgender man in South Africa to get this right. But it's a journey. And the hormones, remember, I started the actual transition when I was 28. So I'm already working, and I mean, taking a hormone at that age, it's quite something. Yeah. So I had to go for therapy as well, just to keep myself in check and to allow these changes to sort of run their course. And after that, we then motivated between 2013, 2014. Before that, I actually had my gender marker changed at Home Affairs as well. Okay. That for me also was an amazing experience because I went in there guns blazing with my, I was quite, because I'd heard stories, horror stories about people who go there and they're ill-treated, abused by Home Affairs staff. But for me, it was an amazing experience. Yeah. And got my gender marker changed 2012, 2011, around about there. So they update your gender in the country's birth index register. So it's
and let me tell you, you are just a man, but you are an astute, confident, amazing man. Thank you so much for writing this book. I wish I had more time with you.
Thanks for having me.
But I think everybody, especially if they're going through anything similar, needs to absolutely write this book. So join us after the break as we read this book. Join us after the break as we continue this conversation, actually, with Dr. Kevin Adams, a Cape Town-based plastic and reconstructive surgeon who has considerable experience in transgender surgeries. Welcome back to Afternoon Express, coming to you live on SABC3. Now, gender reassignment surgery is performed to transition individuals with gender dysphoria to their desired gender in order to reflect their authentic felt gender. So we have Dr. Kevin Adams, a Cape Town-based plastic surgeon and reconstructive surgeon who has considerable experience in cosmetic, reconstructive, non-surgical rejuvenation and transgender surgery, to talk to us through the factors and risks involved with reassignment surgery. He's also one of a handful of elite surgeons recognized throughout South Africa for his meaningful contributions to surgical advancements. Welcome to Afternoon Express. And well done on all of the tremendous work that you've been doing. What exactly is gender reconstructive surgery?
Okay, we should probably...
Or gender reassignment surgery.
It should actually be gender-affirming surgery.
Gender-affirming surgery.
Yeah, so a lot of what we deal with are historical kind of biases. And as you were talking to Landa just now, the thing to understand is that we're trying to move away from the term sex because it misleads people.
Yeah.
It's not a kinky sexual thing. Landa has always been a man.
Yeah.
Okay, he just didn't know that there was a name for the problem that he had.
Yeah.
And I still have colleagues who refer to it as sex assignment surgery. And it confuses people. So your gender is a far more fundamental thing about the way you interact with the world and how you want the world to interact with you.
Sure.
And yeah, so that's why the distinction I think is important, so that the people kind of get to grips with the issues a bit better.
Yeah. What does the procedure entail? And wasn't South Africa the first country in the world, actually, to do the procedure?
No, the procedures have been done for a long time.
Okay.
And as technology has improved, our technological way of addressing the operation has improved as well.
Okay.
We did the first penis transplant.
Okay.
But yeah, so the surgery is done all over the world. Sorry,
So the procedure must be quite intense. I mean, if you can just give us a broad outline of what the procedure does entail.
Okay, so there are many different ways of addressing the problem. Yeah. And the key thing is to understand that a transgendered person is an individual. Yeah. So each person's transition is going to be unique to them. So one of the popular questions is, why do some people not want to take hormones? Because they don't have to.
Oh, don't you have to? Do you not need the hormones to go with it?
So there's no doubt that when I'm talking to patients, I say, look, I think it's a very good idea for you to do it.
Yeah.
But you have control over your existence.
Yeah.
And so if you're worried about taking hormones, who am I to force you to do it?
Okay.
Okay.
Why would somebody not want to take the hormones?
There may be some reason physiologically.
Okay.
There may be a problem, and that's why at the clinic we have endocrinologists to supervise all those kind of things. Your hormones are kind of fundamental to the way your body works.
Yeah.
Not just your blood pressure, your heart rate, but also to your emotions.
Yeah.
And things like that. But the medical fraternity has kind of evolved as well, to the point where hopefully we've realized that we don't need to prescribe to other people how they should live their lives.
Sure.
We should just be there to kind of support them.
Okay.
So if somebody says, look, I don't want to take hormones, I'm not going to force them to do that.
Yeah.
But my job is to give them good advice, which is, I think it would be a good idea to do it.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to, I'm not going to force you.
I actually watched a few surgeries actually in preparation for this on YouTube, and it's so labor intensive, and it's so fascinating how everything does link together. But I suppose my question is, does everything function as it should, I suppose, post-surgery?
Yes and no, it depends. So again, we have trans men, we have trans women.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about trans women, essentially what you want is no penis, a vagina, and something that you can pee through, and essentially a clitoris that you can have sensation with.
And will there be sensation afterwards?
There should be, yeah.
Okay, but that is amazing. How is that done? Through connecting nerves?
No. So, well, yes and no, but essentially no, because if you try and reconnect nerves, you lose sensation.
Oh, okay.
So
you just
when
leave the nerves there already.
When we're doing a reconstruction, if I cut the nerve on my finger and somebody fixed it, I would probably lose about 50% of the sensation afterwards.
Yeah.
So why run that risk? So what we do when we're creating a clitoris is we keep the nerves intact. We just take the top part of the penis, which is quite sensitive, and keep that attached to the nerves, which are already attached to or connected to the erogenous part of your brain. So the trans women get to have...
It's actually a miracle. It's actually a miracle how this is able to be done. Are there any grave risks involved?
There's risks with any operation.
Yeah.
But probably, well, it's a good question. Probably the most important question is make sure that you make the right choices before you go for an operation. Because the one thing I can't do is undo an operation once it's been done.
Yeah.
But just to clarify on that before people start getting confused, one of the commonest questions I get asked and misconceptions that there is, how many people have I operated on that wanted the operation reversed afterwards? And the answer to that is very easy, none.
Okay. Well, it is a big, I'm pretty sure you're very clear on it once you do go and have the operation.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of people think, well, maybe it's just a transient phase that you're going through, and it's done on the spur of the moment. And medically, we have a lot of things in place to try and make sure that it isn't a spur of the moment kind of thing.
Is it very costly?
It depends where you have it done.
Okay.
So...
Would a government hospital do it?
Grooteskier does it, yes.
Okay.
And if you go to Grooteskier, you are charged according to your income, which is a fantastic system. So
that's fair.
By the same token, if you needed a heart transplant, you could go to Grooteskier, and if you had no income, you could have it for 75 Rand. Okay, so it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you earn money, then they will charge you according to what you earn.
Thank you so much for clearing things up for us, and I feel like we've learned a lot today. Thank you so much for being here. Over to you, Palesa.
Life-changing moves happening on the couch, and if everyone can be as brave, I swear the world would be such a better place. Now, if you're in the mood for something sweet, well, we've got just the thing with these mouth-watering quinoa fluffy flapjacks filled full of goodness and flavor. You'll be forgiven for thinking that you're cheating on your diet. Chef Clem, that's what I was asking about. That sweetness, that nutrients, how can we blend the two? I know quinoa is very healthy.
It is very healthy, high in protein, high in fiber. It's a great addition to flapjacks, which are normally dense because they're supposed to be.
Yes.
But with this little magic ingredient, it actually comes out a little healthier and lighter, and you're feeling like you've been cheating.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Step one, I have to just, mental notes all the way.
All right, cool. In the bowl, flour, baking powder.
Okay.
In the jug, we've got some eggs, sugar, butter, and a little bit of vanilla. To that, add a little bit of milk.
Okay.
You're going to do your mix and mix thing?
You know I got you every day.
You can give it a mix first? Just in case, just in case.
Making sure that all the flavors come together well. Perfect.
Maybe a little bit more. You pour it in. Let's see if we need more.
Okay.
Just like that. Perfect. Then in goes the cooked quinoa. Quinoa you would cook like a porridge, okay?
Okay.
Stovetop, you can do it in the microwave. But what you're looking for is, it looks, first it's like super loose like this. There we go.
Okay.
And then, in some water, a little bit of seasoning, and then you're winning.
Yeah. So there's no preferred way of preparing quinoa?
Some people like it thick. Some people like it loose.
Yeah.
It's like pap.
Okay.
It's like pap. Okay, good.
See, you just put that all the way into perspective for me. I'm
There we go.
I'm very familiar with pap. So, yeah.
Okay, you can add more milk if you wanted to, but I've got one that's done already. You can pass it to me on the side. There you go. And then
okay, so after blending it and putting it all together, it comes out looking like this?
You don't need any hardware as well. The whisk does all the work for you. Then it's quite a thick batter, as you can see.
And sticky and gooey.
Sticky and gooey, but that's great. That's exactly what you want.
Okay.
So then into your pan. Oh, I forgot one ingredient. Look at that.
Which is?
I've got these carb clever bars. I want to add some extra crunch to this, okay?
Yes.
So I'm going to use some of it.
You know, these carb clever bars are amazing for on the go, and you need a snack, but you're just not sure what to go with. And a healthy choice always is for the best. So Woolies have these amazing carb clever bars that come to the rescue every single time.
It will keep you going for ages. So a little bit of that, it not only keeps you going, but the flavors that are in there are really, really great. It makes for a great flapjack.
Great.
Ready?
I'm excited.
Let's go. Pop it in there. I think I made my pan a little too hot, but it's fine. We can handle it.
Okay, yeah, we can always handle a little heat in this kitchen. Yeah.
Press it down slightly, let it do its thing. You can see how easy the batter actually moves. Look at that. There's no fat in there. Just a little bit of like non-cooked kitchen spray. And it's moving around perfectly well.
Awesome.
They look like this when they come out. How amazing.
And I love the brown on the flapjack, because I was just thinking with the quinoa, how will that end up looking? Because it's already cooked at the end. So it doesn't look burnt or anything.
No, it doesn't. Should I do it? Should I flip it? Are you ready for... Do you want to flip it?
Do you want to flip it? No, you have to.
You
Chef Bay, you have to. Okay.
Okay, you ready? It's all about the wrist. You want to do it together?
Should we do it together? Let's do it together.
1, 2, 3. Yay! Well done. A little bit in the middle. It'll get there. It'll get there. Well done.
Thank you, Clem.
That's so great.
That was fun.
A little bit of lemon zest, just like that.
For that little bit of a zing.
And our amazing strawberries. Did you know that people often think that strawberries or the fruit and vegetables from Woolies have some preservatives in them because they last so much longer? It's not about that. It's about the cold chain.
And the cooling process it goes through.
Exactly. So it stays at a constant temperature from the time it leaves the farm till it gets to your plate. And because of that, it stays fresher for longer. By the way.
And gives us some amazing freshness to our flapjacks.
There we go. A little bit of honey.
And we're good to go?
We're good to go.
Awesome.
Here we go. Well done.
Thank you so much, Clem. Now, just because it's sweet and decadent doesn't mean it doesn't pack all full of nutrients, and it's good for you. That's why Discovery Vitality members get up to 25% cash back when they stack their trolleys filled with healthy food, vegetables, and fruit. Don't forget to activate that Vitality healthy food benefits with Woolworths. To get the ingredients list and link sent to you, simply SMS EAT to 33650. If you've missed any of the steps, here's a quick recap.
According to statistics, money laundering has been identified as the third biggest illegal business activity globally. What's even more alarming is that you can easily fall victim, and whether knowingly or unknowingly, if money is found to be laundered through your account, criminal charges will be held against you. SABRIC Head of Relationship Management, Susan Potgieter, is here to explain how to #WiseUp and identify money laundering attempts so that you can avoid becoming another statistic. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's an alarming, if somebody else is doing a criminal activity, I end up being in trouble for it. So let's start at the very beginning. What is money laundering?
Right. Money laundering is the process of taking proceeds of crime and integrating it back into the economy. Okay. So it's the whole process between the spend, really, and the actual crime itself.
Okay. Then how can I be a victim of money laundering?
Well, you can be a complacent in money laundering, be an accomplice, so to speak.
Okay, so how, without me even knowing?
Yes. So what could happen, and we've actually had reports along these lines, where people are approached by others to allow them to use their banking facilities. Now, that must never happen, because if you don't know what is being done with your facility, you won't be able to say, but I didn't know. That won't be an excuse in law. What typically happens is a criminal uses somebody else's bank account in order to move the money through so that they put a distance between themselves and the actual act of money laundering. And then, of course, should they all be found out, then the person whose account was used will be held accountable for money laundering.
But I mean, how common is that? Because I mean,
Right.
how often are people allowing other people to use their bank accounts?
I think it's probably more common than what we believe.
Yeah.
And if you look at the kind of stories that people are told, by way of an example, somebody comes to you and says they've just sold their motor vehicle, they bank with a bank A, but the purchaser banks with bank B. You happen to be with bank B, so can't we just put the money in your account?
Oh, wow.
And then if you do me this favor, you can keep $1,000. By way of an example. So this sounds very, very plausible.
Yeah.
You allow that to happen, and only afterwards to realize that that was actually not the sale of a vehicle, or at least not the person's own vehicle, and it was proceeds of crime that was laundered through the account. That's one scenario. Another scenario is where people are approached because they've got valid identity documents, and they are asked to please assist because somebody else allegedly cannot open a bank account, they cannot comply with the requirements of the banking industry, and then they can either be asked to do this as a favor and hand over a bank card, and then the second person trades on that account. Alternatively, they could be rewarded for it. There are people that are renting out their accounts. Now, all of that is absolutely unacceptable because as soon as somebody else's transactions pass through your account, there is the chance of your account being abused.
I mean, you've got to be so vigilant, and you've got to protect your personal information.
Absolutely.
And, of course, protect your bank accounts. Don't let anybody put... I mean, it's so nice when people do put money in your bank accounts, but make sure you know where it's coming from.
Absolutely.
How can we wise up and protect ourselves from that so we don't fall victim to
Very
money
importantly, not to allow other people to use your bank account. Also, don't give your personal information to anybody else to use. Be very, very, very protective of your personal information. And most certainly, if somebody approaches you, don't fall for the tale that you're being told.
Yeah. Oh, you've just got to be so vigilant these days. Thank you so much for sharing all of this information and helping us wise up.
My pleasure.
When it comes to mobile banking, it's quick and easy, and the amount of people using mobile banking apps worldwide is on a steady increase. Although it is a safe and convenient way to access all of your banking needs, there are ways that we can compromise this. So join us next week when Susan Potgieter gives us the do's and don'ts so that we don't fall victim to mobile banking schemes and scams. Thank you, Susan.
We are brave, innovative, everywhere. We are Sabric.
Then we do it. In the chronic patients, then
Okay.
it really depends on the setting.
Chronic is like cancer.
This is the morning star.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, coming to you live on SABC3 this fabulous day. Now, do you know that your kidneys are vital, life-sustaining organs that perform many functions to keep the blood clean and chemically balanced? Now, water plays a key role in keeping a healthy kidney, and in lieu of Kidney Awareness Week from the 2nd to the 8th of September, we are joined by nephrologist Dr. Erica Jones to share a few drops of wisdom on how to maintain kidney health. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here today. So I suppose before we understand how best to hydrate our kidneys, we've got to understand what kidney function and what do our kidneys do exactly in our bodies?
Well, they're great little organs.
Yeah.
There are two of them, and they act as a fantastic, very clever little sieve, so a filter, and they filter the blood as it flows through the kidney and get rid of waste products. So as we work and do things, our muscles and our cells create waste products, and we pass those out through the kidneys.
Okay.
But it has a number of other functions. Obviously, it gets rid of water, which we obviously notice. And then there's some hormonal factors.
Yeah.
So it balances calcium and phosphate, so it keeps your bones healthy.
Yeah.
It creates something called hemoglobin, which carries oxygen around your body and makes your muscles work and it gives you energy. It's great stuff. And then then it adjusts medications and gets rid of excess medications.
Yeah. So we need them to be healthy and functioning. Yes. Who is at risk for kidney disease? Like, how do people get it?
Well, there are three major diseases that affect the kidneys, and most of the people that have kidney disease will have one of these three diseases.
Yeah.
So that's hypertension, diabetes mellitus, so sugar diabetes, and HIV. They're the big ones that cause most of the disease, but then there are lots of other diseases that are far rarer, but do cause independently cause kidney disease, and that can be lupus nephritis, rare diseases that affect just the kidney, nephrotoxins. That's the one thing that people don't really think of, but they...
No, I've never even heard of it. What are nephrotoxins?
So nephrotoxins are toxins to the kidney, and they can range from illicit drugs, so cocaine, methamphetamine or tic, and many of the other drugs. They damage the kidneys.
Really?
But it could also be
So then the kidney stops filtering everything.
Well, they just shrivel up and die.
Oh, wow.
Or it could be medications. Okay. And that includes herbal medications and other non-tested medications like homeopathic medications. They can be toxins to the kidney.
So how do we maintain healthy kidneys?
Well, we look after ourselves. Okay, making sure you're healthy, don't get diabetes, don't get HIV, don't get hypertension. So live a healthy life, exercise, eat well, and this has to start right from the beginning. And
drinking lots of water. Why?
Maintain your hydration.
But why? Like, what does that do? Does it filter it more?
Well, it takes the blood to the kidneys. It allows blood to flow. You need to have a decent blood pressure to get the blood to the kidneys. And that allows a filtration pressure and allows the blood to be filtered. And obviously, if you've got highly concentrated blood, so not enough water, then you've got a higher concentration of your toxins. And that can increase the damage to the kidneys.
So, and that obviously is going to affect everything. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you so much, Doc, for being here. You better stay hydrated. As we've heard, it is absolutely essential to stay hydrated for the functioning and maintenance of a healthy kidney.
The Rhodes Quality for the Love of Winter finalists have been picked by Zola, and now it is up to you to choose the winner of the 100,000 Rand grand prize. It's going to be a tough decision, but only one person can be named the winner. Will it be Venus apricot chicken? Sounds yummy. Or will it be Landy's peaches and cream chiffon cake? Oh, tough competition. What do you think about those recipes, Clem?
I don't know. I think they're amazing. I'm just kind of programming now. What would I do with 100,000 Rand? I mean, that's the holiday of a lifetime.
Holiday of a lifetime,
yeah.
That is. Yep, well, we told you, it's going to be a tough one. Visit the Rhodes Quality Facebook page and cast your vote on the poll by clicking the recipe picture that you think should win. Voting closes tomorrow at 12 p.m. So ready, set, and vote.
Rhodes Quality for the love of food. Now don't go away, because we've got just the thing for your sweet tooth. After the break, we prepare a deliciously, a peach tatin. I think that's the way to pronounce it, with peach syrup, whipped mascarpone, and please do hit us up on your social media platforms and tell us how much water have you been drinking in a day by tweeting us at Afternoon Chat using the official hashtag Afternoon Express, or comment on our Facebook page. I literally drink like 2 to 3 litres a day. It's so good for you. Now, you can also call us anytime during the show if you've got any questions for any of our incredible guests on 021 430 9881. Give me some of those peaches. Yes.
Get ready. The face of cybercrime is changing. And so are we. We are smarter. We take charge. We are in control. We are brave, innovative, everywhere. We are Sabric.
Express yourself.
Whiskers, feed their curiosity.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now it's time for your doggy to be taken off the leash, wag their tail and feel the breeze on their fur. Come to the Pedigree Dog Park event at Walkhaven Dog Park on the 16th of September from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and your doggy could even have their lickalicious moments featured right here on Afternoon Express. Visit the Pedigree Facebook page for more details.
They're cute, they're cuddly, and they're TV stars. Baxter and Donut, the adorably fluffy four-legged members of the Afternoon Express family, are sharing their daily adventures on social media. To see what Baxter and Donut get up to behind the scenes, follow the adventures of Baxter and the adventures of Donut on Instagram.
Loving those cutie patooties. Traditionally made with apples, the tarte tatin is equally as mouth-watering when made with peaches. And it's just in time for spring. And the best part, it's as easy to make as it is to enjoy.
Those cutie patooties.
Those cutie patooties. Our furry friends are the best, aren't they?
They are the best. They absolutely are the best.
But I'll do one better for you. I'll give you a peach tarte tatin. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did.
A peach tarte tatin.
There we go. You made it sound Mexican now.
I kind of did, didn't I?
All right, so we get it started. It starts up with the caramel. So in here we've got some brown sugar, and then we got some butter going in. So essentially what we're making is a delicious, nice, smooth caramel. Let the butter and the sugar do its thing, melt together. Turn up the heat a little bit. And then to that we add a bit of vanilla. There we go.
So it's just a tart, by the looks of it, with the Rhodes quality apricots and the peaches upside down, and kind of just to add that sweetness to the pastry.
There we go. And apparently this whole dish was actually inspired by accident. Someone was walking out with the dish with the pastry on the top, tripped, fell over, and by the time it's cut up like that, the goodness was on the top.
That sounds like something I would do.
Is it?
You know, with my clumsy self, I'll just fall and trip up on something amazing.
You know, I'm me also. They used to call me Clumsy Clemmy in high school.
Clumsy Clemmy, but it doesn't matter.
I'm joking. Why do you believe that? No.
I should have known better. Chef Clem keeps pranking me on the show, and one day is one day. I want to get you back, Clem.
I wish they could actually see behind the scenes how much I actually do prank you. It's hilarious.
I believe everything this man says. But what I do believe in is your cooking.
There we go. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So we're remembering now that whatever we're going to put face down is going to become the top of the tart. Okay. So I'm putting the peaches in, cut side up, just like that, because we want it now the round edges to be the surface of it. Okay.
And I think what's also nice about starting with the base down is that it gives it that nice brown color.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if you look at that, you can see how well caramelized that is. Don't throw this away, though, by the way. We'll teach you what to do with it in a minute.
Okay.
Then I'm going to take some...
I normally just drizzle that down the drain, but okay.
What?
Yeah, I kind of let that go.
Okay, we're going to talk during the ad break. We're gonna seriously talk during the ad break.
Okay, fine.
Then I've got some puff pastry right here. Let's bring this just like that.
If you guys want this amazing recipe, remember to SMS the keyword Rhodes to 33650, and this SMS and ingredients list will be coming to you.
What I love the most about Rhodes is the fact that Rhodes quality have the goodness in the can all year long. So if you want to make this when it's not peach season, you're winning. The goodness is in the can, absolutely.
And what I like to do is I'm a hoarder. So I like stocking up my pantry with all those goodies, and the Rhodes qualities, I'm not going to lie, is right up there.
So when the zombies come, I'm coming to your house?
When the zombies come, you can come over to my house. We can camp out for a good year. We'll be fine.
Fine. Perfect. I love it. Okay.
Just as long as you promise to do the cooking.
Okay. Deal. Deal. I like it. So here's our syrup that we kept behind, right?
Yeah.
So like we were naughty as kids. We used to like fight over it to see who can actually get it because it's really good.
Yeah.
It's like a peachy flavored syrup. You know, it's amazing. What we actually did is we took some mascarpone cream cheese, mixed it in there. So instead of adding sugar or icing sugar, you sweeten it with the actual syrup. Can you just give us an extra drizzle over that guy over there? And look how beautiful and decadent that looks. You actually get the flavor of the Rhodes quality peaches inside the mascarpone cream.
That's amazing. And I love myself some mascarpone. So.
Me too. I entered this in the competition. They called me like, Clem, you can't enter.
But also, that's kind of nepotism because you're already part of the family. And isn't Zola like one of your best friends?
I don't care. I want 100,000 rand.
I want 100,000 rand. Get your hands on this mouth-watering peach tarte tatin with peach syrup whisked mascarpone's recipe. SMS the keyword roads to 33650. Vast rate supply. T's and C's apply. Visit afternoonexpress.co.za. And just in case you missed any of the steps, we got you here at Afternoon Express. Here's a quick recap. The Rhodes Quality for the Love of Winter finalists have been announced. A huge congratulations goes to Yolandi Pillay for her peaches and cream chiffon cake and Vina Mudali on her apricot chicken. But remember, the competition isn't over yet. It's up to you to vote for your winner. Head over to the Rhodes Quality Facebook page and cast your vote on the poll. Voting ends on Friday at 7... tongue twister. Friday, the 7th of September. Which recipe gets the most votes will win.
Rhodes Quality for the love of food.
Now, don't go away because after the break, it's time to dive in on all the mouth-watering food that we've made as we have a little finishing up chat with our guests. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. So today's show has been so interesting. Of course, we were chatting to Landa Mabenge about his incredible book, A Trans Memoir of Triumph, Becoming Him. And of course, we've got Dr. Adams in the loft as well. So from the questions that I was asking earlier, I suppose what I really wanted to know is, like, how long did your full transition take and what was the experience like?
So I don't think, well, for me, it's a journey. So I can't put a time frame on it because I'm still taking hormones and I decide when I want to stop. Like doctor said, it's a personal thing. It's an individual thing. So it's been an amazing. It's had its ups and downs. Like taking hormones is not. It's not child's play. It requires you to be present. It requires you to work with them because you've got your ups, you've got your downs. So it's been an amazing journey holistically, and the transition continues. It's a journey. It's for me. I'm taking it a day at a time. And yeah, like any other person's journey, it's a journey. So
you know what I want to know are those things that you've encountered that you weren't expecting, or that nobody warned you about. So that if there are people sitting at home who are about to embark on this journey, or do feel like they want to cross or go through the transition, what are the little experiences that you had that you think, oh, I wish somebody had told me this, or I wish I'd known that this was going to happen?
Well, I think going into my journey, I actually did a lot of research. So I can't say that there were things I wasn't prepared for, but personally, taking testosterone, I became very angry. Really? And the anger at some points became too much that I had to go for anger management. So that's why I'm saying, with like taking hormones, you need to work with them. I had to put up my hand and say, you know what, I'm not coping now because there's a cocktail of emotions, so, and of feelings and of, you know. So for me, that was the one thing. The minute you can feel that, you know, you must be prepared for changes in terms of your moods and the way that you experience other people. Sometimes I don't feel like talking, and I mean, I go to work every day and it's not understandable, but then I had told my bosses and everyone that this is what's going on. But especially also in intimate relationships, you must be able to take time out when you need it, because those hormones, they can become a bit much. So that, for me, I think it's the most important thing. If you need to talk to someone, talk to someone. If you need to talk to your doctors, talk to them, but be aware that the hormones can drive you up and down.
It's not you going mad, it's the hormones. I blame my hormones all the time.
I mean, they're relatable. Look, none of it is child's play at the end of the day. And it's crazy how such little people can already start realizing that this is not really part of me. Doc, what would you say to that little child to just try to help them understand the journey that they might have to go through?
Everybody's life is different. And I get a kind of skewed perspective because I meet people towards the end of their transitions. But funnily enough, I've for a long time been asking my patients, when or how long have you known that you were different? And every single person says, I've always known. Okay? So for the people that are transgendered, it's always been like that. One of the big issues that we have to deal with at the moment is that if you look at children before adolescence or puberty, a lot of them have gender identity issues that they struggle with.
You know what's so funny? I've got a little, well, it's not so funny, but it's beautiful, I suppose. I've got a little goddaughter who lives in Malta, and when she was 4 years old, she said to me, God made a mistake when he made me. I was supposed to be a boy. And so, everyone in the family, we've just all supported her through her journey. Thank you so much for being on the show and helping us assist all of our viewers, if they need any help with the journey. And thank you so much for being so brave writing this book. It's amazing. It is definitely a please read and a page turner.
It's a must-have.
Exactly.
Yeah, perfectly. Join us again tomorrow for our Fashion Express Thursdays as Wanelo Creations showcases their latest collection. Plus, we are treated by a performance by the amazing Lady Zamar. See you tomorrow.
Woo! Can't wait for that. Good night. God bless.
Ciao.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.